Nice to meet you. My name is Annelina and welcome to my adventures. Good morning and welcome to the workshop day number 2. Yesterday we removed the Sprinter's diesel fuel tank and detached the diesel fuel tank's header from the tank, and the whole point of this exercise was to able to drill a port number 4 in this diesel fuel tank header, and we need that port number 4 for our auxiliary diesel cooktop. And it is a little bit special case because all the other campervans I have known use either induction cooktop or gas powered cooktop, but ours is fueled with diesel fuel. And the auxiliary port that is made at the factory, it's already in use, and it fuels our engine preheater and also our diesel heater that is warming up the living area. So we cannot take the third device out from this exact same port. For that reason, we need to drill another outlet inside the header. We already have the parts. This is going to be the outlet port. We have the instructions for it and things ready for poking the hole here and draining the diesel fuel out. This part is complete now. Big thanks to my partner. The hose and the cable ties are made of suitable material for diesel fuel. This pink one is installed at the factory and it is the auxiliary fuel port. It is at the same height, so we are not able to drain the tank empty. And the hose is now secured with cable ties and also the locking ring. And when we put the header back to the tank, it stays nicely in place, and the 45-degree angle end maximizes the success of draining fuel from the fuel tank. Good work! we have the fuel tank ready for the installation, but before we can put it back to the vehicle, we need to drill a hole for the fuel line through the bottom of the vehicle. These are the exhaust and air inlet pipes for the diesel cooktop. So the diesel cooktop is located just on top of here. And yeah, somewhere here we need to put a hole, but we are going to measure it with laser and calculate the correct spot inside the camper van. Now we are trying to measure the drilling point as accurately as possible. The ideal location for the fuel line is somewhere in this area, just right on top of the fuel tank header, so the line will be as short as possible. But the negative side is that, of course, we need to be aware of the parking brake wire, but more importantly, we do not want the fuel line interfere with the rotating cardan shaft. Let's see what kind of mess I did. I'm a bit nervous. My partner was inside the camper van and assured me that it was going well. And it was. Yay! We made it. Good work. Precise measurement and in the correct angle. Here's the kitchen and the diesel cooktop. Next, I will clean and protect the open metal area so it won't corrode that easily. I will wipe away the excessive corrosion protection spray, and once I'm here I can also make the same kind of treatment for the existing rust spots of the car's bottom. It won't take the corrosion away, but it will slow it down. This is the 2mm fuel hose. Then there is the rubber protection hose that is slightly larger than the actual diesel fuel hose. And soon there will be coming the large protection hose. He is simultaneously feeding the sealant mass and this protection hose from inside the camper van to this bottom. So the whole area will be filled with the sealant mass. There's the protection hose. Here we are. Good. Once I get the sealant mass gone, I will also clean this area and insert the sealant mass to this side. No, okay, now I'm pulling this. This diesel fuel hose is very high quality, 2mm diameter, so it won't twist or kink easily. We have used it in all our previous vehicles and all our previous installations. Just make sure that you use the high quality fuel lines, because they are really nasty to repair later. Meanwhile, I was underneath the vehicle. My partner completed the caulking or sealing inside the camper van, and he also added a small cable tie there as a knot, which performs as a stopper in case we accidentally pull the diesel fuel line a little bit while we are installing it to the header. This is what we created. My partner connected the 2 pieces of fuel line with the fuel line connectors, standard ones, and it goes in a swirl around the header and to the sealant location and inside of the vehicle. The sealant is a little bit flexible still, so we will let it dry into its location where it's supposed to be normally. These are the bolts that are holding the straps of the diesel fuel tank, and as you see, they are quite crispy. So we will prevent their sticking and further corrosion, I would say, by cleaning them and adding chemicals. We use this Tread Easy, some kind of professional chemical. First, cleaning. And hopefully we will minimize the risk of cutting the bolts while we open the straps for the next time. For the winner, it is easy to smile, as we say in Finland. The vehicle's fuel tank is now attached back to the vehicle. We have secured all the electric wirings, flaps and covers, and also the fuel connections. Here is the additional fuel line neatly next to the cardan shaft, passing the handbrake cable nicely and securely stowing on top of the fuel tank's top. Moment of truth. I'm a little bit excited. We will see if the engine will still start. We need to at least drain the air out of the fuel line system, so it might take a few tries, but let's hope for the best. I can still hear some noises, so I'm going to do the air bleeding for a third time, and then I'm going to try the ignition. The installation is complete. Here is the new diesel fuel line for the diesel cooktop. The blue one you can see is the fuel filter, and the diesel fuel line is protected also with orange cover and goes underneath the van directly to the diesel fuel tank. Here we are testing our diesel devices. The heater of the living area is working really well, pumping as hard as it can and bringing hot air very nicely. And the water is boiling with proper bubbles.